Liverpool rocked by shock twists on and off the pitch. Don't miss a second. Subscribe now for instant Reds updates, exclusives, and breaking alerts.
News headline: Liverpool issues statement to confirm Jurgen Klopp's return to Anfield dugout. Jurgen Klopp only left Liverpool in the summer of 2024 following a hugely successful spell at Anfield, but the German is now set to return to his former club following a fresh announcement. Liverpool have confirmed that legendary former Jurgen Klopp will return to Anfield to assist Kenny Dalglish in a Legends game this year. The Reds are set to take on another of the Germans' former sides, Borussia Dortmund, on Merseyside in March. And it has been announced that Klopp will take his place in the Anfield dugout just 18 months after departing. Sami Hyypiä, Fabio Aurelio, Gregory Vignal, Martin Kelly, and Yassi Benayoun are all among the players expected to take to the pitch for the game. Meanwhile, goalkeepers Jerzy Dudek, Pepe Reina, and Sander Westerveld will also take part in the game. The match will take place on March 28th, with kickoff scheduled for 3 p.m. A statement from Liverpool read, Jurgen Klopp has joined the Liverpool FC management team for the upcoming game against Borussia Dortmund Legends. Klopp will return to the Anfield dugout to assist manager Sir Kenny Dalglish for the charity match, presented by AXA and in association with Forever Reds, on Saturday, March 28th, 3 p.m. GMT kickoff. Dalglish and Klopp will be joined on the touchline by LFC ambassador Ian Rush and Forever Reds chair John Aldridge. Klopp has previously addressed the chances of him returning to Liverpool as their full-time manager. He said, "I said I will never coach a different team in England, so that means if I did return, then it's Liverpool. So yeah, theoretically, it is possible." Away from Liverpool, Klopp has also been linked to taking the reins of Spanish giants Real Madrid, but Red Bull chief Oliver Mintzlaff has suggested that he does not have any concern over Klopp leaving his role as the energy drink giant's head of global soccer. Jurgen has made it clear that he doesn't want to be a coach at the moment, the Red Bull chief said at an event hosted by the Leipzig Volkswagen. Whether that changes at some point in his life, of course, is possible, but I can see how passionate he is about this job, how many ideas he has, and how much he wants to develop further. Therefore, I'm completely relaxed. Klopp has previously enjoyed a glittering spell with Liverpool, winning the Premier League and Champions League as well as a whole host of other trophies over 9 years. He has already stepped foot back on Merseyside, having appeared as a guest speaker at the LFC Foundation's Gala Ball at the city's Anglican Cathedral. He was appointed as the Foundation's first ever honorary ambassador last year. Then he was in attendance at Anfield at the end of last season as Liverpool lifted the Premier League title against Crystal Palace. The Reds have failed to hit those lofty heights this season, with Arne Slot under pressure amid a miserable title defense.
News headline: Xabi Alonso gets ringing endorsement from Liverpool teammate over job. Change needed. Ex-Spain and Bayern Munich star Javi Martinez has endorsed Xabi Alonso to become Liverpool manager, with reports continuing to heavily link the former Reds midfielder with the Anfield post. Javi Martinez has backed Xabi Alonso to take over as Liverpool manager, insisting the Reds require a shakeup. Arne Slot is facing mounting pressure on Merseyside, with the Premier League champions languishing in 6th place and confronting a fight to secure Champions League qualification for next season. The former Liverpool midfielder was sacked by Real Madrid at the start of January after their Supercopa final loss to Barcelona. His departure came alongside renewed difficulties at Anfield for the Dutchman, who, despite guiding the club through an unbeaten spell, oversaw a series of lackluster displays against the likes of Sunderland, Leeds, and Burnley that triggered increased scrutiny. Saturday's defeat to Bournemouth, combined with other results not falling their way, saw the Reds drop out of the top 4 and Champions League spots. Manchester United and Chelsea have both experienced revival since making their managerial switches earlier this campaign, with Liverpool being urged by some quarters to do likewise. Alonso is reportedly spending quality time with his family after an exhausting 3-year period with Bayer Leverkusen, followed by Real Madrid. Nevertheless, reports from Spain continue to strongly connect the former midfielder with the Anfield position, with suggestions he would cut short his break from management to return to Merseyside. On Wednesday, former Spain and Bayern Munich colleague Martinez delivered a ringing endorsement for Alonso to succeed Slot, arguing that change is necessary on Merseyside. He said, speaking on BEIN Sports, "It's football, sack pressure, months after winning league title. It's one of them things that doesn't rhyme well. I know some names come on the table. I heard about Xabi Alonso, not from him. I'm not saying anything. I think so, be a good fit. I think the Liverpool team needs a change." Xabi Alonso is a young coach that brings a lot of new things. It's from the Pep Guardiola school. He likes to play the way Cesc Pep play, and I think it will be a perfect match between Xabi Alonso and Liverpool. He played there. They love him. I don't know what happened with Real Madrid. I didn't speak to him. I sent him a message, but he didn't reply. But I did it the day after they sacked him, so I think he switched off the phone. I was sure he'd be a success at Real Madrid. It's a special club. I'm sure if you bring Pep Guardiola, he would not be successful. Alonso was viewed as a potential candidate to succeed Jurgen Klopp after the legendary Liverpool boss's surprise exit at the conclusion of the 2023-24 campaign. During that period, the Spaniard had steered Bayer Leverkusen to an unexpected Bundesliga title as he revolutionized their fortunes, leading them to the Europa League final and securing the DFB Pokal, coming agonizingly close to a historic treble. Klopp's imminent exit coincided with Alonso's rise to the talk of German football, but occurred 12 months prior to Carlo Ancelotti vacating his role at the Bernabeu. Speaking last year, Alonso said, "At that time, I was focused. I had a big thing with the Leverkusen players, and we were really focused on that. I've seen a lot of different things Klopp implemented here, but I have followed Slot, too. I know his approach, but it is combined with the intensity here at Liverpool. They have a nice mixture, and that is why they are top of Premier League and Champions League. In all areas, they are really strong, so the process works really well. The manager has done a fantastic job in 3 months. Gakpo, Diaz, Tsimikas, Robertson, Szoboszlai, McAllister, they have so many options."
News headline: Liverpool transfer news. Trent Alexander-Arnold deal explored as Jurgen Klopp return confirmed. The latest Liverpool transfer news as fans react to Jurgen Klopp's return to the Anfield dugout. Liverpool have just a few days left to sign reinforcements before the winter window slams shut. The prospect of back-to-back Premier League titles looks all but untenable, but the possibility of the Champions League or FA Cup trophy is still on the horizon. Arne Slot will be busy looking to strengthen positions he is desperately lacking, with injuries to Jeremy Frimpong, Connor Bradley, Ibrahima Konate, and Joe Gomez making his already difficult job that bit harder. The Reds saw high-priority center-back target Mark Guéhi slip through their fingers as Manchester City finalized a deal for the defender this month in yet another blow for Slot. Meanwhile, Andy Robertson has been linked to a move to Tottenham, despite club captain Virgil van Dijk calling on the left-back to remain at Anfield. But Reds fans will get some respite in the form of much-loved ex-boss Jurgen Klopp returning to the Anfield dugout for a charity match. Here, Mirror Football details all the latest in Liverpool transfer news. Trent Alexander-Arnold deal explored. Trent Alexander-Arnold's future at Real Madrid hangs in the balance, signaling his potential return to the Premier League. But it may not be back to his boyhood club on Merseyside. Pep Guardiola is keen to strengthen the right-back position at Man City, and Alexander-Arnold is a viable option. Liverpool fans would be shocked to see the academy star head directly to a Premier League rival, but former Man United scout Mick Brown believes it is a possibility. He told Football Insider, "I have heard Man City are looking at him, and that's interesting because we know they have been looking for a right back for some time. That's what Pep Guardiola wants, a natural right back, and Alexander-Arnold would be perfect for that because he can also step into the midfield." Whether Alexander-Arnold would consider a move to City, particularly over returning to Liverpool, should that deal be put on the table, remains to be seen. He severed ties with the Anfield club, but he is still sure to pick Slot and co. over the lure of the Etihad. Upon leaving Liverpool, he said, "I fell in love with the club from a very, very young age, and that's something that has grown and grown day in, day out. It has given me the opportunities to go and achieve everything I've ever wanted. It has given me the opportunities to achieve everything beyond my wildest dreams. I can never repay enough of what's been given to me, and I don't take it for granted at all. But, like I said, at the end of the day, I did have to make a decision, and it is one that has been very difficult. I just hope that people will be able to see and understand that I've given everything to the club. I've given everything every single day for 20 years now. I've sacrificed everything, I've done everything I've ever needed to do to try to help the team win games. And no matter what, that will never change. I'll forever be a fan of the club. There will be no change in that. I'll always be watching the games, I'll be supporting from a distance." Jurgen Klopp's dramatic return.
Former Reds boss Klopp is making his long-awaited return to the Anfield dugout in March. However, it is not to take permanent control of any club, but rather to manage Borussia Dortmund in a charity match for the LFC Foundation. The Liverpool vs. Dortmund Legends match is all about raising funds for the club's official charity and will take place over the international break. Sir Kenny Dalglish will manage the Reds, with Klopp taking charge of his former German club in the opposition dugout. The 58-year-old, who is now Red Bull's global head of soccer, has previously spoken highly of the LFC Foundation and will be keen to show his support in a few weeks' time. Speaking in 2023, Klopp said, "I am happy and proud to be an ambassador for the LFC Foundation. To have people listening to me is the best thing I can do to help our foundation. All of the people who work for our foundation do an incredible job. I love them all because the things they are doing are just incredible. It's such a wonderful organization, and the best thing a football club can do is to give people good moments, hope, belief, and the knowledge that they are actually never alone. I enjoy each moment with the foundation. It's really great, so it's a win-win situation for all of us."
News headline: Liverpool told Mo Salah will quit this summer unless Arne Slot leaves first. Mohamed Salah's Liverpool future remains unclear after firing digs at the club and Arne Slot back in December, which has ramped up talk of an Anfield exit for the Egyptian. Danny Murphy has claimed that Mohamed Salah may choose to remain at Liverpool if he was working under a new manager, with the quality of the Egyptian's relationship with Arne Slot still unclear. Salah has been the leading light for the Reds for almost a decade, thriving and breaking records since joining from Roma in 2017. He's now past 30 and has experienced a drop-off this season, leading to him being benched on occasions. That led to an outburst from the forward prior to Christmas, where he said the club had thrown him under the bus and he had no relationship with Slot. As a result, talk of him leaving gathered momentum, especially with Salah on a hugely lucrative contract. He remains for now, but there is a growing expectation that he could leave in the summer. However, Murphy believes a change in the dugout may give him a new lease of life. He told Best Betting Sites, "Is this Mo Salah's last season at Anfield? I think so, yeah. I know he's contracted longer, but with what's gone on, how the team's performed, and how he's performed, I think it would surprise most people if he stayed for another year. The only caveat would be if a new manager came in and really wanted to build a team around him, try to get one more year out of him and have that conversation. I don't know Mo Salah personally, but maybe he'd be given a new impetus, a new lease of life with a different manager." Slot is under pressure despite delivering the Premier League title in his debut year. Liverpool have endured a notable decline despite spending British record sums in the summer, and they could still miss out on the Champions League. The Liverpool hierarchy do still believe in Slot, reports The Athletic. Pressure is there given their situation, but the Dutchman's bond with sporting director Richard Hughes remains strong. There is also sympathy with what he's had to contend with, which includes wholesale changes to the squad and the tragic passing of Diogo Jota. Last term, they surge towards the title was spearheaded by Salah's goal-scoring exploits, as the Egyptian came up with 34 goals, his most since his debut season. This season, though, the goals have dried up and he's yet to hit double figures. It means he could post his lowest number since becoming a Liverpool player, casting doubt over the investment the club have made in him. The Saudi Pro League are known to be targeting big names again this summer and previously missed out on the forward. Murphy himself concluded, "I think it would be a surprise if he's still wearing a Liverpool shirt at the beginning of next season."
News headline: Top Liverpool source gives 4 reasons why Liverpool won't sack Arne Slot. They're hard to argue against. Despite reportedly contacting Xabi Alonso, Liverpool have no intention of sacking Arne Slot, with a top Reds reporter detailing 4 convincing reasons why. Liverpool cruised through the Champions League group phase for the second successive season under Arne Slot. The list of potential opponents in the round of 16 reads Atletico Madrid, Juventus, Galatasaray, and Club Brugge. But while it's been relatively smooth sailing in Europe, the heavy 4-1 defeat to PSV Eindhoven aside, Liverpool's domestic campaign can only be termed shambolic. The Reds have won just 5 of their last 18 matches in the Premier League and none of their last 5. In truth, Liverpool's title defense was already over by Christmas. Liverpool's issues on the home front with set pieces, counterattacks, and low blocks have been there for all to see this term. Frustratingly, Slot doesn't appear to have the answers on how to solve any of those problems. It's a situation that has prompted mass speculation Liverpool will make a managerial change, be that mid-season or in the summer. Xabi Alonso is available to hire and seeking a quick return to management following his early exit from Real Madrid. Numerous outlets, plus our own sources at Team Talk, have confirmed informal talks with Alonso's camp have been established in the event Liverpool do decide it's game over for Slot. That was followed by a cryptic clue from the editor of a national outlet that strongly hinted Alonso is on the way to Merseyside. Speculative reports earlier on Thursday then stated Liverpool are expected to part ways with Slot at season's end, amid growing fears there's an irreparable disconnect between the players and manager. But according to The Athletic's James Pearce, who specializes in covering Liverpool, those hoping to see Slot turfed out of Anfield are out of luck. Pearce insisted Liverpool's hierarchy have no plans to sack Slot and pointed to 4 reasons as to why. The quartet of reasons are 1. No breakdown in relations with senior executives, 2. Acknowledgement the mass squad changes have led to a transitional season, 3. Numerous key long-term injuries, 4. Continued belief Slot can and will turn the season around. Delving deeper into those 4 reasons, Pearce wrote, they currently have no intention of following the lead of Man U, who dispensed with Ruben Amorim, or Chelsea, who parted company with Enzo Maresca. Both teams have enjoyed an initial upturn in fortunes following the appointments of Michael Carrick and Liam Rosenior. However, in both cases, change was brought about by a breakdown in relations with club executives, as well as results and performances. At Liverpool, Slot's bond with sporting director Richard Hughes remained strong. It was Hughes who led the search for Jurgen Klopp's successor in 2024 and was convinced that Slot was the outstanding candidate to take over. That belief in his coaching acumen remains. Unlike Amorim and Maresca, Slot is a Premier League title-winning boss. That buys you time and patience. There's sympathy for everything that the Dutchman has had to contend with since the glory of last season sent expectation levels through the roof. From the tragic loss of Diogo Jota to the sweeping changes to the squad that led to talk internally that this was always likely to be a transitional campaign, to the succession of injury setbacks. Pearce added, the Anfield hierarchy aren't blind to the problems that have blighted performances and caused Slot's side to be so inconsistent. Questions are frequently asked about what could have been done differently. Even taking into account the hurdles placed in Liverpool's way, no one would argue that having just 36 points after 23 league games is anything other than unacceptable. Slot has certainly made mistakes. He hasn't been able to impact matches as he did so often last season. But he's still the same coach who previously hit such heights, and there's faith internally that he'll turn things around. Their form in the Champions League, taking 18 points out of a possible 24, including the scalps of Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, and Inter, shows what this team is capable of. Latest Liverpool news. Centre-back hijack. Van Dijk, Robertson sales? In other news, Liverpool are looking into a sensational centre-back hijack amid claims the player is waiting for a call from the Reds, though the cost of doing business could make Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards wince. Elsewhere, a transfer insider has revealed what Liverpool planned to do with Van Dijk in the summer, after the Dutchman began to show signs of decline throughout the current campaign. Finally, Tottenham have been told they still have a significant chance of securing the signing of Andy Robertson this month, amid strong claims the star remains keen to quit Liverpool with immediate effect.
News headline. Emphatic Arne Slot sack update revealed as Liverpool eye new centre-back amid Van Dijk decision. A fresh report has outlined 4 key reasons why Arne Slot will not be sacked by Liverpool anytime soon, while the club are exploring an eye-catching centre-back signing amid an update on Virgil van Dijk's future. Pressure has been ramping up on Slot. Even though he led the Reds to the Premier League title last season, the performances this season haven't been consistent enough, especially given close to $450 million was spent on new additions last summer. This has led to speculation that Slot could be relieved of his duties, but Liverpool's fantastic 6-0 win over Qarabag FK on Wednesday has eased that pressure, with a reliable source explaining why FSG will back the Dutchman. Liverpool to back Arne Slot amid sack rumors. It was claimed earlier on Thursday that Liverpool are expected to part ways with Slot at the season's end, amid growing fears there's an irreparable disconnect between the players and manager. However, The Athletic's James Pearce, who specializes in covering Liverpool, those hoping Slot will be sacked are going to be disappointed. Pearce insisted Liverpool's hierarchy have no plans to sack Slot and pointed to 4 reasons as to why. The quartet of reasons are 1. No breakdown in relations with senior executives, 2. Acknowledgement the mass squad changes have led to a transitional season, 3. Numerous key long-term injuries, 4. Continued belief Slot can and will turn the season around. Delving deeper into those 4 reasons, Pearce wrote, they currently have no intention of following the lead of Man U, who dispensed with Ruben Amorim, or Chelsea, who parted company with Enzo Maresca. Both teams have enjoyed an initial upturn in fortunes following the appointments of Michael Carrick and Liam Rosenor. However, in both cases, change was brought about by a breakdown in relations with club executives as well as results and performances. At Liverpool, Slot's bond with sporting director Richard Hughes remains strong. It was Hughes who led the search for Jurgen Klopp's successor in 2024 and was convinced that Slot was the outstanding candidate to take over. That belief in his coaching acumen remains. Unlike Amorim and Maresca, Slot is a Premier League title-winning boss. That buys you time and patience. Their sympathy for everything that the Dutchman has had to contend with since the glory of last season sent expectation levels through the roof. From the tragic loss of Diogo Jota to the sweeping changes to the squad that led to talk internally that this was always likely to be a transitional campaign, and the succession of injury setbacks. Pearce added, the Anfield hierarchy aren't blind to the problems that have blighted performances and caused Slot's side to be so inconsistent. Questions are frequently asked about what could have been done differently. Even taking into account the hurdles placed in Liverpool's way, no one would argue that having just 36 points after 23 league games is anything other than unacceptable. Slot has certainly made mistakes. He hasn't been able to impact matches as he did so often last season. But he's still the same coach who previously hit such heights, and there's faith internally that he will turn things around. Their form in the Champions League, taking 18 points out of a possible 24, including the scalps of Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, and Inter, shows what this team is capable of. Liverpool eyeing Bayern Munich star, but there's a problem. Meanwhile, Bayern Munich centre-back Dayot Upamecano is still being heavily linked to a sensational move to Liverpool. The 27-year-old French international is out of contract at the season's end, and Bayern are doing all they can to convince him to sign an extension. Respected journalist Florian Plettenberg previously claimed that Upamecano is reluctant to pen fresh terms as he is waiting to join Liverpool or Real Madrid. Team Talk transfer insider Fraser Fletcher has been able to verify that Liverpool are indeed interested in signing Upamecano. However, sources tell us the Reds harbor concerns over the salary commitments it will take to hijack Bayern's deal. Upamecano has already verbally agreed a new Bayern contract worth €20 million per season. That roughly equates to a weekly wage of around £330,000 a week. If Liverpool to match that offer, Upamecano would become the club's 3rd highest paid player behind only Van Dijk and Mo Salah. This is clearly a huge outlay, but if he doesn't agree a contract extension at Bayern, he will be available on a free transfer, so he's certainly a player to keep an eye on. Liverpool make big Van Dijk decision. Despite Liverpool still prioritizing the signing of a new centre-back, as evidenced by the interest in Upamecano, the expectation is that club captain Van Dijk will stay for another season. Van Dijk's current contract expires in the summer of 2027, and Liverpool are prepared to risk losing him on the free at the end of next season, rather than selling him this year. Indeed, according to Football Insider Pete O'Rourke, a decision has been reached, and Liverpool do not plan to offload Van Dijk prematurely. O'Rourke explained, Liverpool plan to allow Van Dijk to see out the end of his contract and have no intention of selling him in the summer. The 34-year-old's current deal at Anfield expires until the summer of 2027, and he is still seen as a key part of the Reds' plans for next season as the club captain. The situation is not so clear with Ibrahima Konate, however, given his deal expires at the end of the current campaign.